Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa. I am at the Player Performance Studio here at the Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Really excited to be here with Lee McCormick, sales representative from Ping Golf. And Lee, I always get very excited when the new equipment comes out from Ping, and today we're going to talk about the new 425 line. Specifically, let's talk about the drivers. You have 3 of them there. That's fascinating.
That's right, Frank. We have 3. There's 3 versions of the G425 driver. So the sort of the main version is going to be called the G425 Max. Okay, that's going to be a 460cc head, extremely forgiving. The second version is called the G425 SFT. And SFT, what that stands for is straight flight technology. So this is going to be a great driver to help those who fight the slice. And then the third version is the G425 LST. And LST stands for low spin technology. So this driver will reduce spin, generally for a stronger player who wants to keep the ball a little lower, reducing spin. So there's a different driver for a different type of player.
It's fascinating that the company would go to that effort to create a driver for those different kinds of players. Tell me specifically the new weight port on the back of the Max. That looks pretty exciting.
Right. So the G425 Max driver, one of the key features is this. We call it a weight shifter, and this is basically a very heavy piece of tungsten that weighs about 26 grams. In our prior model, the G410 driver, we had a tungsten weight that weighed roughly 12 to 14 grams. So this is significantly heavier. And what this does, by locating it low in the rear of the club, it raises the MOI of the club, which the MOI stands for the moment of inertia. And really what that means is it measures the stability of the club when you mishit the shot. So, for example, when you hit a shot on the toe or on the heel, off center, or up high or low on the face, you know, the club will actually want to twist, okay, or deflect. And that's when the club does that, that's energy that's lost, and that won't be recaptured, will not be delivered to the golf ball. So that's a loss of distance compared to a perfect shot that's hit in the center when the club doesn't twist. So, and also when you hit a toe or heel shot, when the club twists, not only is it a loss of distance, but it's a loss of accuracy too, because, for example, when you hit a toe shot, the toe will open up, it'll actually put the opposite spin, using the gear effect. So it'll put right to left spin on the ball, and you'll have more side spin, which means you'll have more errant shots. So it'll be less accurate. So by raising the MOI, or really the stability of the club when you mishit it, you're going to gain accuracy and distance. And what we do, we've always believed very, very strongly about locating as much weight as we possibly can low and deep in the club. And when we put mass low and deep in the club, that basically anchors that club when you mishit it, so it will not twist as much, and we're going to deliver more energy efficiently back to the ball, again, which means more distance and greater accuracy. So we've made some pretty significant gains in this G425 Max driver. We actually have a way where we measure the MOI on a combined axis, using the heel toe and the high-low axis. And we measure it. We've actually crossed what we call the 10,000 barrier.
That's fabulous.
So, a prior model called the G400 Max, which everybody really felt was the most forgiving driver they had, that had an MOI of 9,600. This one, we actually hit 10,000. We hit it when we put the weight in the draw position. So this weight can be shifted. So in other words, this is the neutral position, which is on the center line here. But if you take the weight out and were to place it in this heel spot here, it's only about a ½ inch towards the heel, but with this heavy 26-gram weight, that'll give you a 10-yard fade correction. Now that's when we do the testing at approximately 90 miles an hour club head speed. And then the same can be said if you put the weight from the neutral position. If you shift it over here to the toe area, that'll actually give you a 10-yard hook correction when we do our testing. So you can use this to fine-tune the center of gravity or the weight to help you out. If you want to hit a little draw, you can put it down here towards the heel. Like I said, it's going to give you a 10-yard fade correction.
And if that's not enough, you've got a 20-yard fade connection here, huh?
Right. So the SFT, which stands for straight flight technology, right? that only allows you to put the weight in the heel position. Okay, so there's not an option to keep it in the neutral position or in this toe area here, but this weight here plus there's some weight that's engineered inside the club that's in the heel. This driver will give you a 20-yard fade correction. So those who slice, fear no more. And the nice thing about it is, what we used to do, and a lot of the manufacturers used to do to help slicers was, we would intentionally, close the club face, okay, or we would intentionally put a big offset in the club to bring the toe around to help the slicers. And the clubs didn't look square, and they had kind of a different look to them. The nice thing is this is a perfectly square driver. It looks super clean, but it's got the weight here where you need it to help you really bring that ball around and help you, like I said, 20-yard fade correction.
That's remarkable.
And the third version is the LST, which stands for low spin technology. So, this is generally for somebody who wants to reduce spin, lower their launch. And generally that's going to be a more elite type player, stronger player. This club is a little smaller in its head size. Instead of these two drivers are 460 cc's, which is the legal limit USGA allows us to make the club in terms of its size. This driver is a little smaller, it's 445 cc's. And instead of having a 26-gram weight shifter, it's about a 17-gram weight shifter. And inside the weighting, we've moved the center of gravity slightly forward. And when we move it slightly forward, that's how we reduce the spin. However, we've also maintained great forgiveness in this driver. So we feel like we're getting the best of both worlds. We're able to reduce the spin for the strong player who wants that spin reduction, but yet we still have a very super high MOI in this driver. It's not quite 10,000, but it's not too far off.
What's remarkable to me too, that all the design and research and engineering that you talk about that goes into this, trying to make a club that is going to help me and every other regular player play a better game, it's also beautiful. I mean, not only have you got the engineering, you've got the design as well.
And I like to joke about that because Ping clubs have always been known, to perform great. Yeah. But they weren't always the prettiest. We used to get a lot of, there used to be a lot of jokes made about, the ugly Ping clubs in the past, but they worked. And engineering has been our thing. That's the root of everything at Ping, is engineering. We're more of an engineering-based company than a marketing-based company. But I'll tell you what, we've got a team of engineers that are highly educated, and they're also very great players. We have several engineers that are plus handicaps now, and they're younger, and they want to make the clubs look really attractive. So I'm really happy to say that they're pretty fantastic looking too. So we've come a long way. We didn't used to worry about fashion as much, but these clubs are pretty cool.
Seem to check all the boxes: long, straight, forgiving, good looking. I think you got it. That's the 425 line. This is Lee McCormick from Ping Golf. These clubs will be available at the Hagen Oaks Golf Complex or Morton Golf Sales online. Come out and check them out.